Hi, and welcome to the VAST for this Level 1 response. Thank you so much for volunteering to help StEER with this event. This quick tutorial will just step you through our process for how we respond at Level 1. Level 1 is all about virtual data gathering, so we're using our virtual assessment structural teams, you, to help develop this important information that culminates in our preliminary virtual reconnaissance report, or the PVRR. Now, this report can be really challenging to write with so many people volunteering and a lot of information coming out in the days after an event. So what we do as StEER is help to direct our efforts a little bit more in a targeted way to make this a lot easier on all of us. The idea is the following. We put a lot of effort into developing a media repository. This is a visual record of what happened in the event with our analysis as engineers. We also ask a member of our team to track outages and restoration of critical infrastructure, including utilities and road networks. That information then informs the authorship of the report, allowing us to better organize our efforts and make sure we're cataloging everything well and leading to the most efficient writing process for the primary report. So as a result, we structure our team in a way that puts most of our effort here, in developing and collecting all of that media. The vast majority of our VAST members, no pun intended, will be populating that media repository. And one member will be assigned to populate the outage and restoration database. These pieces of information will then be used by the assigned section authors. We will assign an author to each section of the PVRR, our report, and they will use that information to write their section. All of this is coordinated by our VAST leader. We might have two in a big event, who helps to coordinate the whole process. And an editorial team then helps to enforce publication standards and make sure everything gets published on Design Safe. So in the process that we're in right now, we have activated the network, and all of you have specified your interest to join our effort through a Google form, and we thank you for that. And then we work to assign our members different roles based on their interests, their expertise, and availability. The most important roles were our author assignments. And we have the following sections in each of our reports: an introduction, an overview of hazards, a discussion of local codes and construction practices, a summary of building performance, and a summary of infrastructure performance. And when there are geotechnical issues, we'll have a section on geotechnical performance. And if the event had a coastal dimension, something we would see in a tsunami or hurricane, we'll have a section on coastal protective systems as well. Now, once the roles for those authors, as well as the VAST lead and the individual who's doing our outage and restoration database are all assigned, then we send out instructions. Each of the leaders and authors will be given a direct message in Slack with instructions on their role and what's expected. All the other VAST members will be added to our Slack channel with instructions on how to contribute to primarily the media repository. So when you go over to the Slack channel, you'll see a few things. First of all, when you hover over the top, you'll see a little bookmark strip that drops down, and you'll see all of our critical products for this phase of the response linked there. As I'm showing with the red box, most of you will be focused in our media repository. We also have a welcome message that is pinned to the channel. It's shown here shaded in yellow so that all members can see the process that we're going to be engaging in as a virtual team. And as people are added, they get specific instructions on how to begin. A few things we ask of you. If you are not an assigned author for the report or leading the outage and restoration database, then we ask you to work directly in the media repository. How do you do that? Well, as you can see, once you click on that repository, you'll be taken here to the repository file. You'll find some instructions guiding you how to work, a cover sheet, and then templates for our sections and slides. If you come here to the table of contents slide, you'll importantly see a navigation tool that will let you go to specific sections. I just jumped down to this section on residential construction. The idea here is as you find something that you want to comment on or document through photo evidence, you would simply duplicate the template slide that you see there and then populate that new version of the slide with this information. You put the coordinates and or the address for that particular photo or that building or piece of infrastructure in the first box. The source of the photo or information, usually that's a news article, it could be Twitter, etc. And your name in this space. It's really great if you provide a hyperlink to the source of the information so we can keep that in our records. And then importantly, we ask you to provide a commentary on the image. It's critical that you analyze and critique the image because this gives information we can use in our report and provides an important measure against copyright infringement. And then you'll also provide, of course, the image itself or multiple image in the space that's shown here. So your job is basically to try to build up these slides that help show and catalog what has happened in the event and create a visual record with a high-level analysis of what you are seeing. Now, as you get started, and as you could see from the media repository, there was some instruction, it's also posted in the Slack channel, about copyright. When we're using photos from others, copyright does guide, and so we have to be really careful about it. Take a moment to read our quick reference sheet, or QRS, about copyright issues. We also have another QRS just coaching you on how to populate the media repository. These are important guidance documents so that you understand the process. As you get started and you decide what you want to focus on, let's say I want to do historical structures, I should post in Slack to let people know that that's what I'm working on today. That way we avoid duplication and we can better coordinate our efforts. And of course, as you're working and you find interesting articles or pieces of data or other posts from social media that are really interesting or helpful in understanding this event, we encourage you to post them to the Slack channel. We also ask that you make sure you're logged into Google when you're doing your work so your contributions to the repository, the report, or any other product are actually being tracked as attributed to you and not anonymous. That way we can make sure you get appropriate credit when we do the authorship and citation for the products we release. Now we would like to do all this work in about a week, and that's an aggressive goal, but the idea is this is intended to be a high-level synopsis of the event with notable patterns of behavior. We don't need to talk about everything, we just need to highlight the most important things. And that should produce a 20-page report for StEER that hopefully again is ready for review within a week of the event. So what is the suggested timeline? Well, in the beginning, the first few days, we focus on just two things. The outage and restoration database, which one person is assigned to work on, they should be populating that for about the first 4 days. Then, in parallel, we would have the rest of our VAST members focused on populating slides within the media repository to build up that visual evidence. Then, around day 3, our authors can start drafting their sections because there should be enough evidence now in the repository and database so that they can start writing. And they'll begin working on that, also bringing in other information sources. By day 6, we often like to announce to the channel that the draft report is ready, and we open it up then for all of our members to review and comment on. We will also work to add an executive summary and recommendations at that time. And by day 7, we love to be in editorial review. This is a time when we enforce our publication standards to make sure that everything we're producing is compliant with not only copyright regulations, but also with StEER standards for how its products are finalized and ultimately published in DesignSafe. By day 8, we are releasing these on DesignSafe, and we'll have a dedicated DOI, which is a digital object identifier, linked to each of the major products. So the report has one, the repository has another, and this will reflect the authorship of the individuals who contributed to those products. Once those are ready, we'll push those out widely through all our communication channels to share with all our members and our partners. So with that, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for volunteering to help us learn from this event. It's only through your hard work that we are able to build resilience through reconnaissance. If you have any questions or concerns as you participate in this response, feel free to post a message in our Slack channel, and a member of our team will be there to help you out.